Life ain't nothing but a dream, and these niggas ain't none what they seem. Yeah. I'm just trying to spend the summer with the team. I lost too many to the system, gotta shout them out. I know some niggas talk about me, better watch your mouth. You don't do it from the heart, man, it's all for clout. I caught a bullet, I'm just lucky they ain't chalk me out. Jordan 6, try to turn that to a foreign whip. Stu Kane, in my city, bitch Bron James. Stop playing, cousin in the kitchen, make a pot flame. Top chain, I'm just trying to ball like he got game. Post up, all up on the block, cause they know me, cuz Debo. Bully, what you got up on my 40, cuz I'm trying to make a difference in the city that I live in. You trying to make a million in a state you never been in. I'm real to the core, to the bone, I'm authentic. I just do it for my brother stuck in prison. Life ain't nothing but a dream, and these niggas ain't none what they seem. Hoping they don't run up with the beans. Spend my life trying to juggle with some fiend. Back when I was 16, I'm just trying to spend the summer with the team.
These niggas out here living, but
Yo. We are back for another episode of the Cypher, episode number 55. And I was totally wrong about that track. You probably heard that in the first. That's a fact.
It does slap a little different a couple months down the line. That's the first time I heard that in a little bit, and it was nice. It's also summertime now. Maybe that's why.
Yeah,
right?
It's
that
getting
might be
warmer.
it.
It is.
Well,
summertime.
it's the same temperature here all the time.
Yeah,
So
but you
It's
just
been
got
summer.
back there.
It's been summer.
You, but it's way warmer back where Ant is, and back at home in Cortland, Ithaca. What is it, like 80 today?
Yeah, it's gonna hit like 85 probably.
It's like 59 today here, so it's a difference. It's a difference.
So he started off with a flex, but then tried to like take it back a little
Yeah,
bit.
he had to bring it back a little bit.
I wasn't even trying to flex. I'm basically saying like summers actually kind of like suck here. Like summers in New York are the best. Winters are nice here because they're like not too hot, not too cold.
Right.
Yeah, but summers is different.
You're a couple hours away from San Diego, right?
Oh yeah, it would take me probably 6-7 hours to drive to San Diego.
San Diego used to be like my dream location to live when I was younger, and it's like always like 75, 80 degrees there. Maybe a couple degrees, give and take. You feel me?
Once doing construction and he's set up with like a nice RV and all this shit. So he's chilling. He's living the life living out there. So
that's fire.
That's dope. See, I like that
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He prefers that shit.
Not
Snowing here like a couple. You guys been up to this week? Anything crazy?
Anything crazy? I can't necessarily say crazy. It's been a real dope week. It's been productive. I just saw smooth sailing. I can't complain.
You get Pfizer
clinic out here. They are vaccines to folks, and I just stayed.
Sounds weird.
No, I mean, let's hope so. Let's hope so.
That's why I said like no.
Dang, I put him on the spot.
Well, I was gonna say some folks don't plan on getting it.
I do plan on getting it. The thing is, like, the difference between New York opens today. Cali's gonna take another month.
That shit is so weird to me. I haven't closed. Like where I live has not closed. Like there's no the idea of opening and closing is very almost foreign to me.
Yeah,
it's gonna be no masks though for people who are vaccinated. So like I'm not really gonna get
that's also
any benefit.
That's just a CDC recommendation. Like individual stores, gas stations, or malls can have their own rules. Like they can still deny you entry if they want because you don't have a mask on. It's just that the CDC now states if you are vaccinated, you don't require a mask in public. Unless they ask
you. Let people in without masks. No, haven't done much skating. I've been busy. Watch out next Friday. I'll be out there.
You did it for the cover and that was it. You're like, I'm gonna skate a couple times, let people know I skate. It won't look crazy on the cover.
Get fat. Like I don't have another way to exercise.
Fair enough, bro.
Like I just have no other way to exercise lately. So
that's
what I gotta do.
I thought you were a hooper, dog.
Yeah, bro. Nah.
Ball ain't life anymore.
Gave up hoop dreams.
With
the mic.
Yeah, okay, so I think we just found the main difference between Sheridan and J. Cole.
That's a fact. That's why he's been hating on Cole for so
Nah,
long.
And
Dropped 3-3-2 in a professional basketball game.
Professional.
but he had
Professional.
17 minutes. It wasn't like he got no burn.
Professional.
He was on the floor for 17 minutes.
This nigga said professional.
I'm just
bro.
saying.
He was
bro.
running back and forth. Running
Son.
back and
If they let J. Cole in, you got to put quotations around professional at that point.
Oh, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
What do you
son.
think that-
For the past 6 months to play professional basketball?
If-
It's professional basketball. I don't know what y'all. This is a league. This is a
pro
league.
basketball. I'm
This is
hitting
a-
a shot.
This was league that was started. Type of freak of nature athletes they had that jumps to 12 feet in the air trying to lock up.
Yo,
Nah,
Jake.
it's great.
Jake said he would have better numbers than J. Cole at this point.
Oh Lord, he just
Jake-
wanted that. He just wanted that blue check to pop
Okay,
up in the
Jake.
comment
Yeah,
section.
we gonna have to we're gonna have to see how the rest of Cole's games play out. But I don't know. It wasn't that exciting, those 3 points. But
Yo, son, you not a hoop fan if Cole's
Well,
3 points didn't. Yo,
I'm not technically. I don't watch a lot of basketball.
If he had pulled up like 8 points, I'll be like, okay,
Yo,
okay, it's a good start.
this is absolutely
But he played
ridiculous.
for 17 minutes. It's not
Yeah.
like he played for 3 minutes and put up 3 points. He played for 17 minutes.
You want that nigga to put up a point a minute
Something.
in a professional basketball league?
I said 8 points.
Yo, but Son had 8 fantasy points.
Oh, all right. There you
Okay,
go.
what's
Just-
cracking? You know, and it's not like
You got a fantasy team for that
it's-
league?
it's not like Son went. It's not like Son went 1 for 8. He was 33%. He went the same as Russell Westbrook last night. What are we talking about? Like,
Oh man.
what are we talking about?
Let's talk.
Volume.
We'll talk more about Cole in a minute and his album, of course, singles titled "Sucker," featuring. I honestly don't know who it is featuring. I don't want to get the name wrong, and I will botch that. So then we got Tone Chop just dropped a new Freedom Stratton dropped a track titled "No Sweat." Juan Bolo track titled "Spit Acid" featuring Che Noir.
Which was so super dope. Super dope.
Mm-hmm. So
That Deuce Ellis track is crazy. Che Noir is about as
listening to this Juan Boulevard track, I haven't listened to it in its entirety yet, so I'm curious when we do play music at the end of the show. Curious to see how that plays out. I like a majority of his me to evaluate the artist now. Like it's been over 2 years that I've been covering local upstate artists. Like everything has kind of changed a little bit, right? Where are people at? How have they evolved as artists, or where do I necessarily see them going? Even is another thing I think about. So, yeah. What do you guys think? Yeah, and I don't know. I hadn't caught a lot of the local stuff. I'm not gonna lie, because there was so much big stuff that dropped this week. Sheridan, you
Yeah,
called it the
bro.
biggest
Can't
week
blame
in
it.
music, right?
Like there was just so many good albums I heard. I've been listening to I'm probably gonna slaughter this pronunciation, but the Nascent album, really great. I think he's a producer. He brought in a lot of like rappers and kind of like alternative like R&B artists. It's a really good album. Reminds me a little bit of like a less like psychedelic, more like cloudy K Tronada album.
Ooh, that sounds kind of fire.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. The J. Cole album is really amazing. Young Nudie just dropped a project.
You want to say that again about the Cole album? Just 'cause-
The J. Cole album is amazing. I gave it like an 8.4 or something like that. It's a really good album. But 21 dropped a nice little pack. There, some songs I take, some songs I leave. But outside of hip hop, I won't get into that. There were a bunch of great albums too.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was a very dope. There was a bunch of and there's an artist, and he just dropped a track featuring Jim Jones. Actually,
I feel like we have
Oh,
maybe
shit.
never talked about him. I feel like I would remember
Yeah.
that name 100%.
Yeah, I would hear
Glit-
Glit Jesus.
Glit Jesus. I'm about to type it out so that y'all can see how it's spelled. I think
I already
that's how
like
it is.
him. I haven't
No,
even heard his music, and I like him.
It's dope. I mean, and he's super professional. I know he's been posting for the past couple months about possibly signing a deal But he just definitely not doing crazy numbers at all. We'll get into that in a little bit, but phenomenal. But I've heard great things about it.
It's amazing.
Nicki Minaj, that's how I would compare it. A bunch of old songs with some new mixes and a couple additional tracks.
She dropped the old "Beam Me Up, Scotty," like brand new tracks.
Drake and Wayne was the first, like the intro Drake.
New.
Yeah,
I know
brand
that.
new.
I think there's one other one that's brand new, but I don't know.
There's
I
no
can't
better
even
way
say-
to do that than I feel like.
True that. Well, it depends on what you can. I don't think it's released before. I don't know if it's a track they just made or if it's been in the tuck, but it's definitely from the vault. And the first time it seemed like the public light of day.
And she seems to be promoting that song more than like any like.
Well,
she's
of course,
promoting,
of course.
Yeah, she's promote. Well, there's others, but there's other songs with Drake. There's other songs with Lil Wayne on the tape. But that song, it being the new one, is the one that she's like really pushing.
I would.
Like a lot. I mean, I think a lot of people are
that
hearing Chirac, and they're like Chirac with Herbo. They did a song like this is amazing. When like a lot of us know that song was like came out when we were like what, like
mad long
13.
ago.
And Wayne in the tuck, and you're gonna re-release an old project. There's no better way to do it, honestly, with opening it with a brand new song featuring two big time names in the industry. So
Where they?
Yeah, I mean, and big facts, Drew. I mean, you throw a new track with two of the people who brought you in, which are just incidentally two of the biggest rappers ever.
Right.
And because if you would have threw that randomly somewhere in the track list, that's the first song you're clicking. Anyway, you feel me?
Yeah.
And then you might not even go through the rest. But after you get hype from seeing Green, you might want to go listen to Chirac. You might want to listen to Itty Bitty Piggy, I Get Crazy, and just go through the line. So whatever she has coming next.
facts.
And just the fact
It's debatable. It's definitely.
Facts. I think that was definitely an interesting project. What'd you think of the Kodak project, Sheridan?
I personally enjoyed listening to it. I don't think it's gonna be like with his last couple that he's put out. A super fan thing.
I haven't been a big Kodak fan, but when I heard he had dropped,
I haven't.
So, because I was listening to it thinking, you know, I really like this, but I feel like other people aren't gonna like it. So the fact that you liked it maybe changes my opinion on that a little bit.
maybe.
Like, you know, this might not be one of his better projects, even though I like it. But if other people like it, maybe it is. What?
Oh man, Paul Mooney just died. R.I.P. One of my favorite culture. Period. That's tragic.
Another topic off of that, but that is crazy. But coming off of that, let's go ahead and talk about the J. Cole project. The project was really, really good. Sheridan, a avid J. Cole hater, hates on J. Cole every.
Yeah, it's. I was like, I had high expectations after that the tone of this is gonna be back, and there was another song I didn't really like, but other than that, I think I gave every song at least a 7. I gave like 3 songs a 10, including the interlude. My Life, the best guest verse on the whole album all the time.
I told you
and
21
then
and Cole worked well.
Let Go My Hand, man, that was another 10 for me. Like he was really like on the introspective topics, but also Black killed it.
You saw that Pitchfork gave this a 6.5?
Really?
Yeah.
That seems like some shit Sheridan will.
Conversation.
He's gonna
comes
be like,
up.
Pitchfork only gave it a 6.5, so.
But
I'm surprised.
You're questioning yourself right
at
now,
this
right? You're
point-
like,
at
oh,
this
was I
point-
right?
Well, now
Well,
on
no,
Netflix,
fuck about being fucking matter. Like,
but you don't
They
have
only
to,
matter
you
when
don't have
Sheridan
to-
needs them.
yeah, they only matter to back up a point that is
No,
like
but the
unproven.
thing is, you say that like I use them as like those are the be all end all opinions.
It's
I don't
not
think
just
that.
me.
When you have 10 people on these things, whether they're right or wrong, I respect those opinions more than a bunch of idiots that grew up in our town.
Damn, son.
Those people started off as idiots growing up in somebody's town. Though.
Yeah, it's it. Nah, but I saw that and like gave a little chuckle. I wanted to be annoyed or mad at it, but then I was at 8.5 to a 9. Like,
and the thing is,
personally-
it also depends on like if it's the first listen, the third listen. Like I do feel like that matters to people.
I'm a fan of J. Cole as somebody that had insane expectations for this album. When you have such high expectations, it's very easy to be disappointed. I went in every song for the whole album trying to be as critical as possible. And dog, there was not one song that I was truly disappointed in. There are songs that I don't like as much as my favorite songs off the project, but from a rapping standpoint, this is the best J. Cole project that we have gotten, probably ever. Lyrically dense. I think he's trying the hardest, and even sonically, when he's doing the melodies, it's the most ambitious and well-executed project he's had. So I'm fair. You do? So I really love this project, man.
I like it, but I like it a lot more the more I've listened to it. The first time I listened to it, like, and I wasn't in the right environment. I was at work trying to work at the same time as trying to focus on like the lyrics and shit, and it just wasn't hitting for me. I was like, I didn't dislike it, and I didn't discredit the talent and everything that was going on. I was just like, this ain't hitting for me. When I got home and was able to really sit down and listen to the project, and the more I've been able to sit down and listen to the project, I really do enjoy it. So I think but I thought the project was amazing. So
yeah, I did too. And I'm gonna just say, I think it's clear that Pitch doesn't like J. Cole. Like, I think at this is like they'll probably never give him a good review unless he does. Because I never disliked J. Cole as a person. It seems.
But the project was great.
They really took advantage of the, like,
I would love to know
situation.
the complaints of necessarily what are the complaints of this project, I guess, from Pitch.
Actual rating, they put out an article about it. The Queen's tone in that song about No Name. And so it was clear that they were going at his like patriarchal tones throughout the article.
Yeah, I mean it's just ridiculous. I mean, they gave Lil Baby's My Turn a 6.6. I think My Turn was a great project, but how are you gauging these two against each other, and how is that coming out as taking away critical success, even though Cole is projected to sell over 300,000 first week, you feel me?
Yeah.
Just from top to bottom,
crazy.
It just doesn't even make sense to me. So not just
My Turn is a 6.6.
There's not a lot of artists who could say that they've done that however many times now. Cole has done that in a row too, like sold this many albums this quickly, like in the first week. Like there's not a whole bunch of artists who could say that at this point. There's quite a few. I'm not gonna discredit and act like nobody has done it, but especially in this day and age where a lot of artists will be real hot for one
first week.
So I think Lil Uzi did 310.
And he's someone that is like getting into that legitimacy status, right? Who's done that probably at least with two projects in a row, and he's building on it. But he's kind of the example too, where you could see
such different lanes though.
Do not follow that up. I don't think that will be the case with Uzi.
But he's gonna do 300K first week, and then he'll probably do like 200K second week. Uzi would probably went down to like 100 or like 70K the second week. You know what I mean? Especially
with this global coverage that he's getting. In this African basketball league, he's going to be charting over there. He's about to be getting his project.
Imagine if he scored 6 points.
Yo, dog, it would have been crazy.
That's literally double the points. Like, that's insane.
That's all he's got to do. He's got to have a game where he gets in double digit scoring.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yo, bro.
If he does that, we'll lose their minds.
I know, but the goal is to win a basketball game, not get J. Cole 10 points.
They're nice, though. They smoked that other team.
They smoked. If professional basketball team, as opposed to more impressive, dog.
I don't know. It depends, bro.
If he put up 20 points on a shit
10.
team.
I said 10.
Okay, even 10. Even 10. You're saying 3 points on a winning team is better than 10 points on a losing team if you're J. Cole trying to get publicity.
Are you dumb? Yes. He said
nobody cares about those teams, bro.
Yes, they do if you win. They don't care about a losing team in a league that just started. If you win,
nobody's watching the game because they care about the basketball results or the basketball game.
People, like a close.
The people that are watching are African residents interested in the African basketball league. Then there's Americans watching for J. Cole. Like you
think there's higher percentage of people watching that game that are fans?
I think a lot of the Americans are just catching the clips on Twitter and shit too. You know what I mean?
Would have naturally had
yes.
So that they have in an African basketball league.
About one game, you say they average 10,000 viewers per game. They're getting 30,000 now because J. Cole's there.
That's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. Like that one, that. But I think too, to an extent, like if Cole was scoring double digits, people would be more excited. Like it would entice more people to be like, oh man, maybe I should check this out. Maybe I should check this league out or this game out. As opposed to him scoring 3.
There's 1.2 billion plus people in Africa, dog.
But
you only watch one sport? Is that it?
That's
the only thing on the. Oh man,
they got other sports too.
I'm sure a lot of people are tuned in though, because there's like
it's
something.
Yeah, bro, we have the WNBA, but nobody watches it.
I wonder if over there they're like mad about it. They're like, this is trash. Like J. Cole shouldn't be able.
No,
to...
I would be pissed. I spent my whole life working my ass off to play basketball, and J. Cole, this like big artist, just comes in and joins a team. I would be like, yo, what is this motherfucker doing here? That's how I would feel. If I'm J. Cole, I'm doing the same damn thing J. Cole's doing. So it's just perspective.
Scoring 3 points. That's it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I'm putting up 30 my first game.
You ain't getting any time in the first game.
Yo, bro, I saw your footage of you in the Juice Bar League. What is you talking about, son?
Bro, you saw the footage of me crossing up the Juice Bar?
I saw you shoot a shot and it went over the backboard damn near, son.
I shot a shot and it went in, and then next possession, I crossed son up. And it's on video. You can follow me, Young Little Child, on my Finsta.
All right. Let's get done with the storytelling. Where would you rank this project in Cole's like discography? You think it was the best, one of the best, not quite the best?
It's way too early to tell, but this is probably my favorite. As a rapper and as a fan of what I really look for in rap music, this is one that I'll go to most to listen non-casually. And even tracks like My Life and Amiri, I can listen to super casually. You feel me? I could put them on and still feel like I'm getting something out of it. I think 2014 Forest Hills Drive is going to go down as his most classic album. I think Born Sinner is a really rough, refined version of everything that I'm talking about on this project. This just sounds way more mature. It sounds like a grown-ass man talking to you every fucking track, which is what I prefer to hear. I really love someone
say best. I don't think J. Cole's gonna talk.
Cole releases, so that's why this one is exciting for me as a fan of that project, because I feel like I finally have something that I can even personally contend the two with. So I'll have to listen to this one more, but I really
their projects were so much better than necessary for him.
Absolutely.
You feel me? I think that this woke people up, and even the LA Leakers freestyle that he dropped, oh my God, son. That was like a George Gervin finger roll layup at the basket, was 0.5 seconds, or like in my opinion, undebatably the weakest projects that
only is it not a good bag of chips, it's small. There's just no real greatness out of this. But there were some tracks that were okay.
It was the biggest load of shit, but For Your Eyes had some okay tracks on there. I like the production. I really like the production on For Your Eyes. I just didn't really like his voice.
Yo, we got Dot in the chat. Shout out to Dot. He posted on Facebook. He's expecting a child in a little while, but that's exciting. So shout out to Dot. That's cool. Congratulations, bro. Congratulations.
Man, ain't nobody give a fuck about Troy Ave.
Oh man.
Nobody give a fuck about Troy Ave.
I didn't even know shit about Troy Ave, bro. So,
do you know that he exists?
I mean, I know he exists. I know of him. I listen to enough of the Joe Budden podcast to have heard about Troy Ave and like checked out that shit. So yeah.
Speaking of the Joe Budden podcast.
No shit, dude.
Share it in your fire.
Yeah, the drama about it or anything at all?
I've heard. Be a little sick.
Well, now a lot of his fans are feeling the same way, bro. Because he done turned on his two of his podcast co-hosts that people really fucked with, and then like 2 days later gets accused of like sexually harassing a woman
One
that
of
he
his-
brought on, someone that he brought into the network to work for him and do podcasts for him, and it was on video. Like you could watch the podcast episode where he's just acting too crazy, and then you can also see that there's edits and cuts made where she explains in her video where she kind of exposed all this, like go to this point in the video, you'll see where they cut out this shit, and went through like the whole video and let people know, and people did it, of course, and now it's like all over Reddit and shit.
Including the employee he was talking about, said like, I hired you because I want to fuck you, and then doubled down and tripled down on it, and quadruple and quintuple down on it, but just edited those out. You feel me? Definitely made her insanely uncomfortable, embarrassed. To be honest, I'm not a fan of his personal actions, but there are people that are talking about canceling him over this Rory and Maul thing, as if he doesn't have a long history of accused abuse towards women, and violent behavior and psychotic even. So if you're gonna cancel Joe Budden because
he's literally like the goat
move
of coming back, like, and that's not even. I'm not trying to even say it in a positive way, but it's like that's genuine.
But it's just funny to me. It's just funny to me seeing people like, oh, he cut his friends out of has sexually abused me and beat my ass bloody for weeks on end, but they like turn a blind eye.
Disgusting.
To that. So
disgusting. Fuck Joe Budden.
It's of said behavior, but it is documented. There's a long history of that.
Enough history, you know what I mean, that you can kind of add it up, you know what I mean. It's like on his podcast and stuff, like the whole situation has been crazy. It'll be interesting to see him try and come back from this one, because this was kind of like his final piece of his fan base, I feel like.
Budden is huge, bro, and to be honest, I think Joe Budden is huge, dog, and he's 10 times bigger as a podcaster and brand. But do you think
you combine it with this situation with Olivia Dope, it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
I hear that, but fuck all that.
And people like, he was losing viewers on the podcast when the co-hosts weren't there. He's gonna lose people subscribing. Here's what's gonna fuck him. If he loses Cash App and he loses all of his last bit of sponsors that he has because he's a moron, like, and couldn't help himself from this. The guy who's down to his last straw up front, come back, but
he's welcomed at table,
especially
multiple different women, and it's not, and it doesn't.
There's video proof of this, and I think that
are incidents.
That was also like, and he bounces back from this Ryan
situation. I think that he is gonna be DJ Academics.
I feel like right now that would bring him back out of this, because he's the only one that would put his name on the line in the middle of a situation where he's being accused of sexual harassment. Like, you're not gonna get to do iHeartRadio, and he gets dropped from Patreon and loses the Cash App.
You just gotta talk to Chris Brown and Tory Lanez.
Charlemagne has video documentation. There's probably a twat and did to Olivia Hope, to his guests that he brings up on his show.
Yeah, Charlemagne's not.
Telling you I want to fuck you, I want to sniff your chair when you get up. What color are your panties? Like, disgusting. You feel me?
So you think after all that he's gonna partner up with Joe Budden and have to deal with that again?
I'm saying that they're not gonna revoke contracts because of an accusation right now. That's what I'm saying, and I'm saying that he's not gonna lose the entity that he's created because of that. If he does, it'll be a culmination of so much more. And if he does lose it, he'll be able to have something else to fall back on.
I think he could, bro, because this is if Patreon is watching the Rory and Maul situation comes out where they essentially have an out of not having to deal with Joe anymore, it could be a thing. You lose the biggest thing is Cash App, it seems like, for Joe Budden, and it really happened yet. It's not going to happen. Like, I don't anticipate it happening now that stuff is already kind of blown over. Like, it was at its peak point. People were mad about it at the most, like, over the weekend.
That you lose two of your co-hosts, which nobody more. Am I gonna stop watching?
A lot of people did, though. That's the thing. I don't think he really had millions of listenership.
Yeah, because like you ask people, very involved hip hop heads, we're gonna know who Joe Budden is.
I do think he has a bigger name.
With that
I think you're right, Ant, that he has a bigger name, especially in the media scope. Like, he was getting mentioned by Kevin Hart, by all these other large platforms. So they're watching Joe Budden. They see his network and his podcast. They must understand that it is bigger than maybe some people view it as. But he hasn't. Like, I just. I don't think he's gonna overcome it. I think this is gonna be some shit that brings.
The new age rappers.
I think his bigger problem is losing the co-host combined with the sexual harassment situation. Like those two combined, losing already a ton of viewers, and then having a situation where you could lose sponsors.
Joe Budden was accused of sexually assaulting animals a couple months ago, and he bounced back in a week.
Yeah, because he had his co-host, bro. There was.
No, you think that's because he had his co-host?
Yep, he had Rory.
It's very cool that he jerks off dogs. You think that's what happened?
Yeah, they were all right with that.
Nah, son, fuck out of here.
Why did he lose more viewers for the white man and the black man leaving the show than he did for jerking off a dog on the show?
I stopped watching the Joe Budden podcast for 2 weeks because I thought since Rory and Mal left, he admitted to jerking off his dog until completion because he needed that release. You feel me? And
he admitted to jerking off his dog
on air on the podcast, and he was
because at the time he was rubbing on Rory's dog on the podcast.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, if y'all
there are people who like this dude.
What?
Yeah.
I personally enjoy watching.
You like a dude who jerks off dogs.
It's really hard when you put it that way, right?
I'm not gonna say a name. One of my, I thought it was the weirdest shit in the world. But
that's a weird flex.
Just don't do it in front. That's not a flex, dog. It's just keep that shit away from me. You feel me? Like
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yo, I mean, there's constant examples. There's examples. The only potential, if you're thousand people in the industry doing the same thing, if not worse, because people like to pick and choose entities that rub them the wrong way because they see a headline or.
But people have become fans of him, and whether it's the narrative of defend black, have ownership over what you're doing, or knowing your books, right? Like that's what he screamed at Lil Yachty for, right? For not knowing his contract situation, but he's mad at Rory and Mal for wanting to audit the contract situation and see what the Spotify deal was. Like, so that's where.
Right, I agree with you right there. If you want to cancel Joe Budden because he's a hypocrite, or because he said one thing and then his actions did another thing, that's different. Or
a compilation of all those things.
Doing very similar things. If
I cancel most people.
Joe Budden has really been that I can name off the top.
Do you think you can overcome it, especially when the percent of the fan base is faced with this Rory and Mal Olivia situation, and then does that? Like, you can't contradict yourself in that level.
And think about it like this.
He's probably still pulling millions though. So that's.
Well,
but
Shane Dawson was public.
As popular as he used to be.
That's kind of what. But Sheridan, but he's always gonna have a core.
Literally everyone who's gotten canceled, unless they've gone to jail, has done.
To a certain extent, we're just phrasing it differently. Then
it's down to his time too on YouTube. Hasn't posted anything on intent. They say absence makes the heart grow fonder. So the people who love Shane, almost every aspect of cancellation, unless someone is like literally killing people or like, and even then. People are like, you're fucking raping people. People are like, like, so if they're diehard fans enough, they still kind of support celebrities, and at that point, you get that type of support. So he's going to see a decrease, and then might bounce back. He should just stop. He should stop.
I don't think he'll ever bounce fully back from all
even
this.
Even if he doesn't bounce back fully, that doesn't mean he's canceled or his career is ruined. That's what I was trying to say. When we brought up the million drop.
Two different things.
His career.
Joe Budden is living.
Has been ruined.
If you think that instead of being hyped that he can
then you're right. Then you're right. Joe Budden isn't hung up over the fact that he's not considered.
He's definitely hung up over the fact that he's considered a better podcaster than a rapper.
His dream was not to be a podcaster.
That was his dream. But you make 1 million for a 10 to 15 year career in music, and then you get a $30 million deal.
Well, like that's what I said. Becoming a podcaster, it's what's created a bunch.
Was getting arrested. He was a drug addict. He was a serial abuser. He couldn't stay out of the tabloids
to make a career.
And then he became a podcaster, and now he's healthy. That nigga go fucking physical cleanses. He has more money. He wears designer hats now. Like that nigga is.
He jerks off dogs. And
It doesn't matter how much you have. I guarantee you, he still wishes he did more with his rap career.
Having a regret and lose Budden lost any sleep this week, dog. I
think he did. I think I maybe not over the Rory and Mal shit, but I think getting
Well,
called out for the sexual
Yes.
harassment shit he probably left sleep over it. Because again, like having watched Joe for so long, I understand probably like he wasn't trying to be as shitty as he comes off of probably, but because he's like an idiot, he came off as very shitty, and it is shitty what he did. Or he felt like he maybe felt like he was in a space where he could interact like that. I don't know his prior relationship with Olivia, but what I do know is that what he did was shitty, and so it ends up that's the situation, and he's got to handle it. I don't really know how he bounces back from all of this, though. We'll see.
Well, it depends on, and we don't have to talk about this for too much longer, but it just really depends on what. It just depends on what you consider a bounce back. To me, like it just depends on how you define
will he bounce back like Sheridan's boy Tekashi 6ix9ine, who's trying to line up a fight with Sheridan's? Which side will he?
I hate that. I actually get.
You're their son, basically, is what people would say. Like, son of Jake Paul.
I'm the son of Jake Paul and Tekashi 6ix9ine.
That's wild, bro. So how does it make you feel to potentially see them square off in a boxing match? Is that like very conflicting?
I want both of them to.
It's like domestic violence in the house.
Fight.
Yeah, basically.
I just want to see Tekashi fight. That's really all I want. I want to see him get beat up. Jake Paul says he wouldn't show up to the fight though, so that's a fair assessment. Like
more clout. That's how you keep 6ix9ine relevant. Is boxing.
I'd be too scared about catching a straight bullet.
Boring,
I gotta be 10 feet away from you, dog.
That shit for me to do that, like.
And I don't. Y'all heard what happened?
And
with
you
Jack
still
Harlow?
have to pay me so much money.
Yeah,
Y'all
Jack.
heard
Yeah, his
Jack
DJ is like arrested or some shit because he was
killed a woman at one of their last shows at the Kentucky Derby, and he just got indicted on murder. And Jack Harlow, they said that he can't come back to his hometown, and if they do, he's getting killed on the spot. He said
Holy shit.
they said that if he ever, how much security is there?
Ooh, like who said that?
Kentucky natives, some dudes that are
Who?
tight,
Like we got names of who the fuck is out here telling them.
right.
Don't.
And they had metal detectors aimed with Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow asked them not to love it to the community.
Damn, that's fucking nuts,
Well,
man. Like the whole story behind it is even crazier.
I don't know the story behind it.
Well, like that's just.
Well, I killed another woman, about like last year. Was the woman that he just killed's friend. And around
He's like, I know how to handle this one.
Yeah, female bodies on you, and that's not gonna be a good look.
Yeah, that shit
That's
is nuts.
crazy,
That's
Affects Jack's career, because I know
it'll be interesting if that like is the thing that kind of hinders it, right? Like I don't anticipate it to explode, and then
it is currently hindering it. I will tell you that because Jack definitely wants to drop music. Right now, I know he wants to let a single go, but he can't. Just dropping their new schedules and tour dates and blah blah blah. He's in hot water.
Well, he
right
just
now.
dropped. What was his name? I forgot the artist, but an artist dropped a deluxe version of his album, and it had remixed one of his songs with a Jack Harlow verse. I think like this week, and it's actually really fire. Like I was really into it.
I'm sure. Look into it because it's honestly, and this really could affect Jack's.
Was like fucking with this dude. Do you think that he did? Person in his crowd?
Whether his DJ was acting as security, whether as it sounds, this is exactly what a gun is used for. It is used to defend yourself in situations. Unfortunately, he used excessive force and killed somebody, and it'll always stain.
This could just affect him because like a lot of people will be like, what kind, like, does he keep the right people around him type of shit just because.
Well, exactly. Venues might not want his price might decrease. Jack Harlow is somebody you look at.
But I think once shit opened back up, like you said, Jack Harlow live because you didn't even really get the opportunity to up through the pandemic.
Yeah, and in general in the scape of things, they get paid a lot. They get booked a lot more. Not a lot more, but they are looked at as less risk. It really could affect his pockets. It could or headlines even. Like it could.
Donald bought 100.
Because I saw that, I didn't listen to it. I didn't press on it. but I saw that.
Okay. Why does everybody hate Tom McDonald?
Okay. Is a rapper that wants to be looked at as that he can stay relevant and make bread. There is.
That makes you a white supremacist.
I just googled Tom McDonald's net worth which is absolutely insane. However, right now it's telling me that his net worth is less than $1 million.
If he's got less than $1 million and he's dropping 100,000,
this is weird because there's 3 different sources. One's Gage. However, he's doing well independent us to hate him because there are people that will appeal like that want that. He has his core supporters, but he thrives off of people that hate him. Another one shares it and says, "Look at this fucking clown."
His probably process through this was success. Take the NFT, turn it into a song. Yeah, it's a supremacist or potentially a white supremacist. Probably too far on the your boy joke. Yeah, so
Sheridan only hangs out with those folks behind closed doors. We can't make that public.
He's at the very least a race baiter.
I don't think race baiters realize what can come of their actions. They're propagandizing. Is that how you say it? Propagandizing?
I don't know.
All right, well, propagandizing
that might
sounds
be that might
be probably a totally different word.
Different thing though.
Yo,
yeah, I think propagating is a word, but
he's intentionally race baiting. I saw something yesterday where a rapper called out Tom McDonald and said that he's essentially talentless involved with his career. She ghostwrites for him, she produces and mixes for him, she orchestrates his music videos for him, and apparently she's one of the most early white supremacists. He hasn't done anything. He made a song called "What If I Was Black" or some shit like and had black skin in the video. Like I think they CGI'd him with black skin at some point. You feel me? Like that is.
He's a white supremacist.
I actually think I disagree with that, but I actually think Tom McDonald is a better rapper.
That's why I had to ask, right? Because I did listen to the song. Like I was like, this isn't great, but this isn't bad. So I literally don't know a lot about him. I know we've talked about him a little bit on the show. I haven't really watched any of his videos or anything prior to this. So I was like, oh well, this is what to me the cringiest thing is like you spent $100,000 on an Eminem NFT to make like your own version of Stan. Like I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like this is the dumbest shit to me. But
Dude,
then knowing even more about him, like
dumbass.
Well, we talked about a lot of those on this show, so.
He looks like a fucking fake ass wannabe ghost man. He fucking has fucking stupid ass braids in his hair. He thinks that he's fucking cool. His delivery sounds like he's a fucking nerd, and he sucks. He's awful, and his music is shit, and he's a piece of shit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I didn't disagree with a lot of those, but I just feel like
I'll let Sheridan get his shit off today.
Get his shit off. Objectively, I think he gets underrated as strictly a rapper, but I think his music is properly rated as shit, and just something from like I don't know, it sounds straight out of a propaganda magazine. You feel me? It sounds like he was engineered in a fucking test tube for one purpose only.
Fair enough. All right, let's go ahead before Ant. We'll go ahead and get that set up. Give me 2 seconds. Potentially, I don't know.
Meech.
All right, bet. So we're gonna play. I believe this is called Mind Games by Meech Booker. Let's get it.
It's got a long intro.
Hello. How you gonna come through? Wanna come school with you? Alright. How you doing?
Sometimes you know you're wondering what you've been doing, ain't mean to be all in your business. And I keep telling you, hold on, and I cannot go on. But I need you know I've been searching for some good love right now. Say my name, but don't worry that I ain't no forget, I just fell it. Sometimes you know that you're
Man, I loved it. We got to talk about this a little. His lyrical content, the structure, and there. I think the music that he's dropping current.
On the one hand, like I totally get it, and like I appreciate it, right? Like I'm glad he's there, and they were maybe tuning in for a specific type of sound from him that he was doing. So it's a cool thing. I like to see it for sure. I see the growth. I appreciate it. Sheridan had mentioned like maybe it would sound better in the scope of a project. And I like really agree with that. Like this sounds like an right or even an EP.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to do this stuff where you are trying new stuff, which works for some people and doesn't work for other people, do a 2-pack every time where one is something new and sometimes you do the typical thing first. You could there's so much you could do. I think to give people what they want and also do what you want.
No, I definitely agree. How'd you feel about it, Sheridan?
I would say this is my third time listening to it. It was definitely my favorite. I like the intro and I like how he a little bit like more intensely louder. It kind of seems like he's just like yelling a little bit, which sometimes it works for him on this track. I don't know if it works for me. At least it might other people might like it. But in general, it's not one of my favorite tracks he's dropped recently. I think it's good, and I think it's definitely like it has like a demographic for people that are gonna like it, because it's a vibe, especially the beginning, and I like the hook. There are definitely like some depends on like the listener.
Too about the variety and like the sound in it. Like I like too that music. I'm not just gonna hear the same type of sound from him. I extent like this wasn't my favorite Meech track, but I do feel like this is one I'm gonna go to quite a bit, and that happens pretty consistently with the tracks Meech drops. Like I really am a big Meech fan, so when he drops,
yeah, I mean I doubt I'll go back to it. Slight variations of his sound. Just kind of think testing out, and I think just like hopefully probably enjoying doing different stuff.
yeah.
I think, and as he does it more, he'll get better at it and better at it, because he already is really good at it. It's just one of those situations where like you compare it to a lot of stuff we play on the show. It's like obviously a lot better, but
So highly and expect so much of from each. No, I get that.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Ant, you got time for one more?
Yeah, I could do one more, then I gotta get out of here, unfortunately.
All right, bet. So we're gonna play War by. See what everybody thinks.
Got a bad, she exotic. Bouncing up, down, she got hydraulic. She said she a drinker, but little too chronic. I got in my bag, wearing all this Louis V, rocking all different designer. These niggas, they mad, cause I threw in Michael Mary. Now his girl think I'm fine and I feel like they dad. Nigga jacking all my flows, only one me reminding they jacking my swag. Nigga, I'm all in my blow bag on some Fendi Givenchy. I'm still that same, I feel like they on me. They feel like I'm hot now. As if a nigga gon' pop out. All of, I don't got time for these hoes. They hold but they can't copy. Slide to the H, spread on the red on the Cuban chain on my wrist residential. No time for hoes, probably fuck up credentials. Pour for probably fuck up your mentals. Man, I'm bougie about me cause I came from drinking Kool-Aid, using plastic utensils. This shit, man, I'm starting Corvettes and IAs in Hollywood Central. Niggas move slow, snaps. Pop out your door like Mel, shooting them hollow tip, dropping them shit hydraulics. She said she a drinker, but lit up the chronic. I threw in Michael Mary, now his girl think I'm fine and I feel like they dad. Nigga jacking all my flows, only one me reminding they jacking my swag. Nigga, I'm all in my bag. Whoa, they think I'm a demon. I don't got time for these hoes, they hoes for a reason. Whoa, they think they gon' stop me. All these niggas looking like some clones, but they can't copy. Niggas move slow, snails. Pop out your door like Mel, shooting them hollow tip, dropping them shells. TJ the name and I'm a lit up the chronic.
That was War by Prince TJ. Ant, you said you wouldn't bump this on your own, but you know people who would. And that's kind of why I played it, right? Because I wasn't sure. I know I kind of feel the same way, but wasn't sure what your guys' thoughts would be. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he actually had a decent flow. I felt like he was in his pocket.
Yeah, the flow was fire.
Yeah, I thought that he was in his pocket for the majority of the track. I thought that he did a lot of things that people want you to do on a drill track. I didn't think the vocal execution was there, and I thought it could have been mixed significantly better, just to cater him in particular. I think that this was a trendy song that wasn't as generic or cliche.
Because like this type of sound, I feel like when I hear it redone by artists, especially maybe locally, like the hook is just something super repetitive, and there's not a whole lot to it. So there's credit there. Do you think with this type of sound too, that they have to put forth that extra bit of effort with the production and making sure stuff is mixed like super effectively?
Yeah, so much about the sonic quality goes into a drill track in particular. You feel me? You have to feel the energy the whole time. You want to, whether if the person's being a little bit more melodic, you better fucking execute it. And if you're based off that, I don't want to just bob my head for that on the podcast pretty consistently. I'd say that was to me that track was some mids, but it was maybe a better vocal performance. It could have been a real hit.
No doubt. I agree. I think that there was like good and bad to it. What were you gonna say, Sheridan?
Like relative to like local tracks, I think it was like definitely above average. But I mean, like in terms of just like a wider thing, but really, I think he had everything. But like you said, the execution with the vocals was it was a little too laid back. I wanted like a little more. Yeah, I wanted a little more like intensity out of it. Yeah, like just some real, like, because usually with those drill tracks, you gotta kind of believe it. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and if he's just kind of, he was almost like singing a little bit, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but he's got to have like.
Well, if you're gonna sing, it better be real good.
Yeah.
And if not, you need that energy that's always in the. Like, it's almost like cockiness. It's almost like it's like full force fledged confidence. I think so much of what makes drill is the people that are on the beats are literally just swagging. Like they're literally just riding the beat however the fuck they want it while showing their personality a lot in the track. And so I think this was a good song. I didn't get too much personality out of it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's
Absolutely, actually. I'm about to drop a pre-saved link to a new song that I have dropping next Friday featuring an Elmira artist, AOHB. Some of y'all might be familiar with him. We played some of his joints on here. Really, really killed the track. Very excited to have this out. T Melly mixed it. My man Pierce produced it. The cover art is gas. I'm excited to finally start.
The cover art is fucking dope. I gotta give you some credit for that. That shit is.
Of course. Very excited to plug. Besides this track, I just had St. Cannon shorts made to complete the outfit. I just have the prototype right now, but I'm about to fast track and order some shorts, or maybe didn't get a chance to get a hoodie. Let me know. I might take pre-orders on this time so that everybody who does want to support and get one has a chance to.
That's fire, bro.
Thank you. I'll leave the precinct below right now. If anybody's tuning in, I appreciate it. It's fairly simple process. Should be a couple seconds.
Facts. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and play "Poison" by Juan Boulevard and Poison. Appreciate you.
Nice chopping it up with y'all. I'll see y'all soon. If you tuning in, I appreciate you.
Always a good combo, bro.
All right, y'all.
I was poisoned by they love. I let my feelings get the ball on me. I put the blame on me, but photos, but who gon' make it to the end? Who? What? Day after day, I stick to myself. Day after I learn my lesson from reading the past. Just cause I'm laying my head with you, don't mean that I'm fully in love with you or fully in trust with you. You got a lot to prove. Please don't you get it confused. I'm seeing a future with you, but I gotta stay on my partner if I don't look easy. I was poisoned by they love. I let my feelings get the best of me. I let the twilight get control of me. I blame it all on them, but it's all on. Working long hours, I'm paying to sleep. If I'm in the spot, my brother's with me. If I show you love and trust, that means that I'm loyal to you. According to you, you say that I'm talking and moving too smooth. You say that I'm moving just like them savages do. What is a nigga supposed to do? Poisoned by they love, I let my feelings get the best of me. I let the twilight get control of me.
I blame it all on them, but it's all on me. I put the blame on me, but I still fuck with me.
So that was Poison by Juan Boulevard. What'd you think of that, Sheridan? What'd you think about the end especially? I don't know. I would like that probably better in the scope of a project personally, but
like where
it slowed down and everything at the end. Yeah,
I actually really like that. I thought that was like actually one of my favorite parts of it. In general, I thought it was a good song. Like, it was a good hook. It wasn't too long. I didn't get bored. He delivered it well. I mean, it wasn't like absolutely amazing, but it did what it needed to do. And I think that he could definitely find a good demographic for that. track.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one thing for sure about his sound. Like, he's got a good sound that quickly, I think, especially in like the TikTok era of things. Like, even if you could do something cool with that slowdown thing, or just like make some video with this for TikTok, I think you could see like a real big blow up for it. So yeah, I think Juan does a great job with the music that he puts together and whatnot. So yeah. I'm not surprised. I would like to see and I didn't dislike the end at all. I just like that type of stuff. I prefer to hear what it transitions to next, right? Like that's what it leaves me curious with when it slows down and shit like that to close out the song. Sometimes when it happens in the middle of a song, you automatically find out what happens next. But yeah, man, that's it. We've played the musician, so we're good. You wanna plug any?
I am gonna be dropping the pre-save or the pre-order link for iTunes for my new EP that's dropping on myself, coming out June 18th. It's only $7.
Month away,
it's
bro.
a pre-order, and yeah, it'll help. It'll help get me on the charts and everything. I noticed I was already on there this morning, which is pretty cool. But if the more pre-orders, the higher it'll go. So I'm gonna paste that right now. Oh shit, that's the wrong link. I almost pasted the wrong link. All right, copy link.
That's fine.
EP coming. Pre-order that for me if you can. I would really appreciate it.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth the money. Worth the.
I got updates coming.
Facts. Make sure you back to promoting stuff like what we just talked about. Get more to promote. Reach out to me. I'd love to do like some text-based interviews. Those perform really well on the website. We could even do some like sit-down interviews. If you got an album coming or a project coming, you want to get on the podcast. There's a lot of stuff we can do. You just got to reach out. It's a lot easier. I don't necessarily know when everybody's dropping a song or when they're dropping everything. So if you reach out to me, it's very. We'll be back next week. Other than that, man, we're gonna play a little bit of Team Summer and get out of here.
What they seen, I come up with the green, all fam, nothing coming in between team.